Hi everyone, and welcome back to Brains Are Beautiful. In this episode, we're just going to talk a little bit about intercepts. We just keep revisiting intercepts in every type of math class, and actually it'll come back later in Algebra 1 as well when we start talking about quadratics. So it's really important that you guys have a good understanding of intercepts, and that's why we've devoted this entire video to it. So let's get started. First things first, we have in Algebra 1 two types of intercepts, Y-intercepts and X-intercepts. If you're any confusion here, I just abbreviated intercept with INT just for simplicity's sake. So a Y-intercept is where x equals 0. Another way to put that is basically it's where the line crosses the y-axis. So I'm just going to write y-axis. And an X-intercept, on the other hand, is the exact opposite. It's where y equals 0, or where the line crosses the x-axis. So let me show you what I mean. So if we have xy plane, here's x, here's y, and let's say we have a line that goes through it, just like so. Okay, so we want to know where our x and y intercepts are. So we're going to go, okay, a y-intercept is on the y-axis, and it's where x equals 0. So that would have to be right here. And we know that because at this point, x equals 0, and it's where it crosses the y-axis. So here is our y-intercept. Okay, so now let's say we want to find the x-intercept. So the x-intercept is just right there, and we know that because that is where the line crosses the x-axis, or in other words, it's where y equals 0. So x-axis. So now let's say you're given a problem, and we're just going to put it in slope-intercept form, y equals 3x minus 7, let's say. And let's say they're asking for the x and y intercepts and then to graph it based off of that. So let's make a list. We want y-intercept and we want the x-intercept. Okay, so we actually already know from a previous video that since this is slope-intercept form, -7 is the y-intercept. But let's solve it using a new method. So a method that will work no matter what type of equation is given to you is to plug in zeros. And what I mean is, if you remember from the previous little bit here, we said that the y-intercept is where x equals 0. So let's plug in 0 for x. So we have y equals 3 times 0 minus 7, which we know then this goes away and we're left with y equals -7. So our equation is right, as is our math, and so this gives us the point 0, -7. So we'll come back to that. Now let's find the x-intercept. So the x-intercept is where y equals 0. And so let's plug in 0 for y. So we get 0 equals 3x minus 7. And now we just solve for x. If you don't know how to do this, go check out one of my other videos. I believe it's called Solving for a Single Variable, and it will walk you step by step how to do this. Okay, so let's add 7 to both sides. And then, so we're left with 7 equals 3x. And then solving for x, we divide by 3, and we get x equals 7/3, which is a little bit more than 2, so it's 2 1/3. And this gives us the point 7/3 for x and 0 for y. So now we can graph this, because that was the last part the problem wanted. And let's make our xy plane here. So there we go, and we have, let's see, 1, 2, okay, and let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, there we go. Okay, and now if we graph this, we have the point 0, -7, and so that is right there. And we have the point 7/3, 0, which is a little more than 2, and that's right there. So then we can just connect the two dots with a line. And yes, that is supposed to be a straight line. And our problem's done. So as you can see, solving for the intercepts are a pretty easy way to get your graph of the equation. All right, let's do another example. Okay, I want to do one more example because a lot of times you will get equations in standard form and they're going to ask you for the y and x intercepts. So let's just do a really quick example like this. Let's say we have the equation 4x minus 9y, and let's say that equals 12. Okay, and let's say we want the x and y intercepts. So let's start with the x-intercepts. For the x-intercepts, we can use the exact same method. So we go 4x minus 9 times, it crosses the x-axis when y is 0, plug in 0, and that equals 12. And now we just solve for x. So we know that this goes away because 9 times 0 is 0, so we're left with 4x equals 12, and we can divide by 4 and divide by 4, and x equals 3. So from this, we know we have the pair 3, 0. Okay, and so for the y-intercept, crosses the y-axis when x equals 0. So 4 times 0 minus 9y equals 12. So this can go away. And let's divide both sides by -9. And we get y equals -12 ninths, which reduces to -4 thirds, so, or -1 1/3. So from that, we know we have the ordered pair 0, -4/3. And then, just like we did for the last one, let's graph those. And so here's our xy plane. Here is x, and here is y. And so our first ordered pair we got was 3, 0. So let's go 1, 2, 3. Okay, and we know that's 3, 0, so let's put a dot right there on 3. And then the next ordered pair we got was 0, -4 thirds. So if we know that here is, let's say, -1, then we know that -4 thirds is just a little over that, so it's about there. And then, of course, we can connect these two dots with a line like so. And there is the entire problem worked out. So either way they give you an equation really works. Standard form, y-intercept, slope-intercept form. If they gave you something in point-slope form or some other form, it will work as well. This method is 100% safe no matter what type of equation they give you. Thanks everybody so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot in this video, and please, as always, feel free to leave any comments or questions in the comments and let me know what you guys want to see in future videos or if you had problems understanding anything. Thanks for watching. Good luck in your studies, and remember, brains are beautiful.